There you go home. Well, you have to remember too. It may slow down, but it doesn't stop. And Well, good evening and welcome to the City of Douglasville Planning Commission meeting. I am Francisco Artley, the chairman of the Planning Commission. The other members of the Planning Commission are Keith Burnett, the vice chair, Rob Benton, and Nathan Zachary. The staff members are Miranda Jordan, staff attorney, Dana Gray, community development director, Chelsea Tubbs, planning and zoning administrator, and Camille Brown, planner one. There are a few protocol items I need to make you aware of before we start the meeting. Please listen closely on how tonight's meeting will be conducted. Keep your comments and presentation on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for this commission to make its decision. We will not accept comments that are considered by the chair to be a personal attack on any individual or group of individuals. You will receive a warning from the chair if you deviate from this requirement. A second deviation will result in a request for you to leave the meeting and the premises for the evening. Please refrain from any applause or comments from the audience. Only one person will be talking at a time, and all comments will be made at the podium after the speaker has been recognized by the chair. Please direct all comments to the chair and the commission, not to the audience or the staff. Please do not applaud or react to speakers, speak from the audience, cheer, carry on a conversation with others in the audience, or disrupt the order of this meeting in any way. Be aware that these hearings are not a debate or an opportunity to ask questions which must be answered by any individual tonight, but are merely an opportunity to present information to the commission. Other than the applicant, no person may speak more than once. The applicant may reserve part of their speaking time as rebuttal and may speak next and last and may use the entire 20 minutes allotted for the pro side of the application. Other than the applicant, no person may speak longer than 5 minutes. If you have a cell phone or any other electronic device, I ask that you either power them off or put them in silent mode. If anyone wishes to speak tonight, please fill out a form available on the table up front and hand it to the staff before approaching the podium. After the case is called, we will hear next from the staff regarding any relevant information to the case. The commission members will be free to ask questions at any time before the vote on a project. Following the applicant, anyone who wishes to speak for or against the project or just ask questions will have an opportunity to do so. The city ordinance restricts each side to a maximum of 20 minutes, or time may be waived at the discretion of the presiding official. If questions are raised, we may ask the applicant to speak again. Afterward, we will call for a motion and a second and have any necessary discussion regarding the item. Then we will vote to recommend approval or denial of the application. This commission is only a recommending body. The items will be heard by the mayor and council whether we recommend approval or recommend denial. All items will be heard by the city's mayor and council at their legislative meeting on Thursday, June 11th, and then voted upon by them at their meeting on the following Monday, June 15th. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from May 5th. Is there any discussion for them? All right, do I have a recommendation?
I'll make a recommendation to approve the minutes for the May 5th meeting.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the minutes have been approved. Is there any old business? No. Okay.
Moving on.
The first case is item 26-187. Hold a public hearing and consider a request for a change in zoning from PUD Planned Unit Development District and PSP Public Semi-Public District to OI Office Institutional District for plus or minus 0.97 acres located on Presley Mill Road and Timber Ridge Drive in Land Lot 49, District 1, Section 5, parcel IDs 004901500050 and 004901500051. Application by Kimley Horn and Associates. Staff will now present the item.
Good evening, Planning Commissioners. Chelsea Tubbs, Planning and Zoning Administrator, 6758 Spring Street. This proposal is requested to allow for a zoning change for 2 parcels, PSP and PUD, to eventually combine into 1 parcel for O&I Office Institutional. Both lots are currently vacant grassland. The applicant is requesting this change to later develop a 3,000 square foot medical office building that will only require 10 parking spaces per our code, but the applicant is proposing 24 parking spaces to accommodate for parking with access to the facility on Timber Ridge and Presley Drive. But the access will be on Timber Ridge Drive. The development will be located within the vicinity of several assisted living facilities, schools, and a church on Timber Ridge and Presley Mill. Regarding the development's traffic, this 3,000 square foot medical office would only generate approximately 10 to 11 vehicles in the AM hours and between 5 to 6 vehicles in the PM peak hours. And I can answer any questions that you all have.
Are there any questions from the board?
I just had one question. The parking, so the code only required 10.
Correct.
So there's no reason for us to really vote if they want more, is it? That's not a part of this discussion if they wanted to have more parking than the code required?
They're proposing 24 parking spaces. So the code only requires 10. It's 1 per 300 square feet of the gross floor area, which is only 3,000.
Got it. That's not a subject for us to vote on, though?
No, sir.
Okay, I just want.
No, sir.
Okay. Is there any other questions from the board? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Will the applicant come forward and state their name and address for the record? Tell us what you intend to do on this property.
Thank you. Good evening, Planning Commission members. My name is Brent Thomas, 3930 East Jones Bridge Road, Suite 350, Peachtree Corners, Georgia, 30092. I'm here on behalf of the applicant for this request at the intersection of Preston Mill Road and Timber Ridge Drive. The request before you is to recommend rezoning of approximately 0.97 acres from PUD and PSP to office institutional to allow for the development of a 3,000 square foot medical office building. The site is currently made up of 2 separate parcels that were created through prior land swaps and roadway realignments. In their current condition, they do not have a clear or viable path toward development. The proposed rezoning establishes a consistent and compatible zoning classification that allows the property to be put into practical use. The proposed medical office is intentionally modest in scale and designed to fit with the context of the surrounding area. The site is located within the Regional Activity Center character area where office and institutional uses are appropriate, and it is surrounded by similar uses, other medical offices, institutional properties, and care-related facilities. Immediately to the northwest, the adjacent property is an assisted living and medical office development zoned O&I in unincorporated Douglas County, which further reinforces the compatibility of the proposed use and zoning district that we're proposing. From a site design standpoint, the project provides a compliant and functional layout, including approximately 24 parking spaces, appropriate setbacks, and landscaped areas, on-site stormwater management. Utilities are readily available to the adjacent site, and the development will connect to existing water and sewer infrastructure without placing a burden on public services. In terms of traffic impacts, this is a very low intensity use. As Ms. Tubbs stated, based on standard trip generation data, the proposed building is expected to generate about 11 trips during the morning peak hour and 6 trips in the evening peak hour, which is not anticipated to create any adverse traffic conditions. As outlined in both the staff report and our application materials, the request is consistent with the comprehensive plan, compatible with surrounding zoning and land uses, and meets the city standards for approval, including promoting public health and welfare through the addition of local medical services. Ultimately, this request represents a logical reuse of an underutilized property that has remained vacant for many years and allows it to contribute to the community in a manner that is appropriate in both scale and function. We respectfully request your recommendation of approval. We appreciate your consideration and look forward to working with the city of Douglasville throughout this development process, and look forward to this facility serving the community for years to come. And thanks again, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from the board? So how many offices are you looking at? Because, I mean, I live right by there. I go by there multiple times. It's a small piece of property, very small. And I'm trying to figure out, because it's, you say 3,000 square feet. Yes, that isn't that big.
It's planned to have one medical office tenant.
Okay.
So the exact number of offices in the buildings for, say, physicians or to see patients, I'm not sure yet, but it's intended to serve one user.
So with the existing buildings in that area or office space in that area, I just kind of wondered why you would propose to build something. I mean, it's less than an acre. It's definitely taking the rest of the green space that's left in that area.
Yeah, it's a unique piece of property. It historically was attached to the church parcel. The church is the current owner. When Timber Ridge Drive was realigned, there was a former piece of right-of-way. That's the portion that's zoned PSP. It's one of the tracks, I think it's the 0050 track, and then the larger of the two pieces, 0051, was a part of the church's property. It has the same PUD zoning classification as the church, but essentially, it was an underutilized portion of the property. With the original church development, when Timber Ridge Drive was realigned, it kind of created this island of a standalone undeveloped parcel. And what the developer and ultimately the doctors are trying to accomplish at this piece is to utilize a property that's otherwise undeveloped for a small medical office facility in an area that's compatible with other medical offices, but just based on the other developments that are surrounding. Understanding what I think is your point, that most of the other facilities are just larger in scale. With the Brighton Academy across the street, the First Baptist Church, and then the unincorporated county facilities to the west.
Right, right. All right, because I mean, you keep saying undeveloped area. Yeah, it's the last of the undeveloped area in that area, and you want to develop it. And so I guess that's my problem, is it's the last of the green space in that area, and you want to take it to put an office building there when there's plenty of other buildings around. And so I guess that's just the issue I have with the office space and the other buildings and offices in that area, that you want to take that last piece.
It's a method for the seller and the buyer to be able to, capitalize on this space. And it's my understanding that with the PUD classification that's currently the majority of the property is zoned that way, that it was a district that was assigned to the church after the previous district was made defunct. I think it was the
Right.
DCD. And it's my understanding that any use would need to go through the rezoning process for this piece of property.
Right. And I'd still have the same question. You would take the last acre that's there, that's green space, to put a building there, so.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions?
The 3,000 square feet, this single story or?
Yes.
Okay, okay, I was trying to understand this.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of the project, ask questions, or make other comments? Please come forward and tell us your name and address. Is there anyone who would like to speak other than in favor of this project? Please come forward and tell us your name and address. Is there any need for further discussion? Do I have a motion regarding this application?
I'll make a motion to approve item 26-187.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed?
Hey,
All right, the motion passes and the application is recommended for approval and will be heard by the mayor and city council at their legislative meeting on Thursday, June 11th, and then voted upon by them at their meeting on the following Monday, June 15th. Thank you. The second case is item 26-188. Hold a public hearing and consider request for section 3.03.b to allow an accessory guest house to be placed along the street frontage for property located on 6304 Melrose Street in Land Lot 21, District 1, Section 5, Parcel ID 0021015C027. Application from Epic Development. Staff will now present the item.
Hello again. This item is to allow for a variance from section 3.03B of the Unified Development Ordinance, also noted as your R2 Single-Family Residential Detached Zoning Designation Lot Development Standards. In those lot development standards, it lists that an accessory structure of any kind cannot be placed within the front yard. The applicant has two frontages, one along Melrose Street and the other along Estelle Street. So to place the guest house here on the double frontage, the applicant is requesting a variance that is along Estelle Street. And I can answer any questions that you all have regarding the item.
Are there any questions?
Yes, so I see the front door is in the northwest corner, it looks like, of the building or the house. Is the front door facing Melrose?
I think it's facing Melrose, but again, because it's along another frontage, that's the reason for the request of the variance.
But the front of the house is facing Melrose?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the board?
Yes, sorry, there's another driveway on Estelle Street? But there's only one covered carport? Sorry, this diagram is not great. The driveway on Melrose leads to the carport,
Correct.
Correct.
and then there's another driveway on Estelle Street.
I think that driveway is proposed.
It's proposed.
Oh, it's there.
Okay.
It says separate driveway access. But I don't see where it stops.
It goes to a shed that's
What that is?
in the yard. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions from the board?
The question I have pertaining to it being a corner lot, so there's a potential for the front to be considered the face, since it's on the corner lot, there could be two potential areas that can be, I guess, called the front.
The frontage,
of it?
yes.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I see the shed now. I see the shed. I see it.
Will the applicant come forward and state their name and address for the record? Tell us what you intend to do on this property.
Good evening, Aaron McCullough, HRC Engineers, Land Surveyors, and Landscape Architects, 6554 Church Street, Douglasville, Georgia, 30134. I am here representing my client and good friend, Mr. Alex Popham, and the applicant for this variance. This variance, as stated, is for an accessory guest house. And to clarify a couple of those things, yes, there are two driveways, and both of those driveways have been in existence for a number of years. One is on Melrose Street, one is off of Estelle Street. And yes, technically, this has two frontages because it is a corner lot. Right? So there is nowhere that this structure could be placed on this property because of that without a variance because of that very same issue. To also clarify that and to be quite clear, this accessory structure will be placed in what we would, as the common public would know as the rear of the house, in the rear yard scenario. And so it is going to be adjacent to the carport, where the driveway comes off of Estelle Street. So this accessory structure, I think, is about 400 square feet. 413, thank you for the exact number on that. It is intended to be a guest house for the applicant's grandmother lives in this residence, and she is needing elderly care. So there is going to be part-time care and friends and family members who are intending to help take care of her, and this guest house will be as a place for them to stay in an overnight situation or during the day whenever she needs daytime care. So any further questions, I am more than welcome to answer those.
Are there any questions from the board?
Which direction will the front of the proposed guest house face?
Make sure I get these correct. Estelle, towards the west.
Okay. So that separate driveway access is basically going to pull right up to the front door of the new building?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, yes.
But the other way to see this is, I mean, I see your point. This ultimately also could be a garage instead of, I'm not saying that you're going to build a garage, but a separate accessory building behind the house could be seen as a garage versus a apartment. What'd you call this, apartment?
As a accessory
house.
guest house, yes, yes. That is a fair statement, yes, sir.
All right, I don't have any other questions.
Are there any other questions from the board? So I guess my question is, if we approved something, the city council approves, a guest house, can that then be turned into a rental? Or would they have to come back for special land use permit?
If we're talking about,
Go ahead.
so, I mean, the guest house itself was the next item. It has to be approved as a special land use permit for the principal structure, but as far as a rental, like a short-term rental, because we removed the whole requirement for a special land use permit, that wouldn't necessarily make it a rental. Additionally, an accessory unit cannot be utilized as a short-term rental.
Okay. So I think that was my concern.
I can unequivocally state that there's no intention of that as well.
Right. Presently.
Can I clarify too that
Yes,
the city does not govern rental properties, period.
okay,
You don't, if you own a house, you can rent it out.
okay.
If you
Well,
own a structure that has that is up to code for a residence to occur, you can rent that out.
okay. I was thinking like a,
Not anything that our city council or governing body has
Right.
authority to.
I was kind of thinking like a B and B,
Is,
B Airbnb.
is that a recent change?
No, I mean, short-term rentals, yes, the requirement for coming to council to ask permission to do a short-term rental has been removed.
Oh, I got that part, but I,
But for rental properties, we have never governed that. Like, you have, if you want to be a landlord and rent your house out,
well, I'm not talking about the house itself. We're talking about now a separate structure on the property of a house. And I voted on several of those on this board.
For short-term
Right.
rentals, yeah.
for short-term rentals, right, and that requirement earlier this year was removed by council to be a special land use permit.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of the project, ask questions, or make other comments? Please come forward and tell us your name and address. Is there anyone who'd like to speak other than in favor of this project? Please come forward and tell us your name and address. Is there any need for further discussion? Do I have a motion regarding this application?
I'll make a motion to approve item 26-188.
Is there a second?
A second.
All right, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
All right, The motion passes and the application is recommended for approval and will be heard by the mayor and city council at their legislative meeting on Thursday, June 11th, and then voted upon by them at their meeting on the following Monday, June 15th. The third case is item 26-189. Hold a public hearing and consider a request for a special land use permit for an accessory guest house for property zoned R2 Single Family Residential Detached District for plus or minus 0.29 acres at 6304 Melrose Street in Land Lot 21, District 1, Section 5, Parcel ID 0021015C027, application by Epic Development. Staff will now present the item. If you turn your mic on, I could hear you.
Sorry, hello again. This is to allow for the accessory guest house structure on the property as required by a special land use approval of a special land use permit for the R2 zoning district. The structure will, again, have 413 heated square feet with a full kitchen and bathroom. The code requires that it does not be more than 50% of the main house. The main house is approximately 1,092 heated square feet, so it does meet that requirement. I can answer any questions that you all have regarding the special land use permit.
Are there any questions from the board? No.
Thank you.
Will the applicant come forward again and state their names and address for the record and tell us what you intend to do on the property?
Be more than happy to. Again, Aaron McCullough, HRC Engineers, Land Surveyors, Landscape Architects, 6554 Church Street, Douglasville, Georgia, 30134. All the facts stated are remain the same. I'll entertain any further questions the board may have.
All right. Are there any questions from the board? All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of the project, ask questions, or make other comments? Please come forward and tell us your name and address. Is there anyone who would like to speak other than in favor of this project? Please come forward and tell us your name and address. Is there any need for further discussion? Do I have a motion regarding this application?
Make a motion to pass item -26-189.
Is there a second?
A second.
All right, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
The motion passes and the application is recommended for approval and will be heard by the mayor and city council at their legislative meeting on June 11th and then voted upon by them at their meeting on the following Monday, June 15th. All right. Are there any staff reports? All righty. Well, if there is no further discussion or any other items, I recommend we adjourn.